Hey Monarch Nation, Ted Alexander here with the latest edition of Wake Up with Wilder, our inside look at the Old Dominion football program with head football coach Bobby Wilder. Coach, a 20-3 loss to Western Kentucky. You get a chance to look at the tape. What did you see?
Yeah, the biggest thing right now, Ted, that everybody knows, we're not playing well enough on offense at this point. And what I talked to the players about yesterday in the team meeting is we're opening everything up, competition. We're going to grade everything in practice. The guys who grade out the best are going to play the most reps. And what's most frustrating right now is we're playing really good defense. Now, Coach Blackwell will tell you, we can play better. We're playing really good special teams. We're just missing that element. And the key situation, Ted, was the first quarter. We get the 2 turnovers. We get the ball on the 14 on the interception that we just watched on Anatomy of Play, and then we get the great strip by Lawrence Garner, recovered by Geronda Hall. We get it on the 12, and we only get 3 points out of the 2 turnovers. So we've got to find a way to play better on offense.
How do you deal with the penalties? Because that's a new ingredient in the stew here that can really stymie a team offensively or defensively.
Yeah, and the big ones right now are those, obviously we had the holding penalty on Cam Mueller, which I didn't agree with. I've watched it on video. That took a touchdown off the board on one of those turnovers. But the 5-yard penalties, the offsides, we had 3 of them. We've got to practice more of the double cadence because we're getting that a lot right now. And those things can be cleaned up. Those are our defensive line being ultra aggressive. We just got to be more disciplined in watching the ball.
You talk about opening everything up at practice in terms of competition. These kids love that, especially the twos and not so twos who get a chance to make plays and show you guys that they deserve some playing time. How will this week unfold?
Well, basically what we'll do, Ted, is starting tomorrow. I had a phenomenal meeting this morning with our leadership council, which is deprived of our or comprised of our seniors and our 2 junior captains, Garner and Weaver, and those kids were positive, supportive. They want more competition, and what they asked for was more Old Dominion versus Old Dominion in practice, more going against each other so it's faster. And that's always a fine line because you got to prepare them for the opponent and what the opponent does. But I was really encouraged by our players, what they see, what they want to do. The defensive kids in there are really supportive of the offensive kids. They want to help them get better. And you know the biggest issue right now, Ted, on offense is injuries and youth. And the way you combat that is you've got to practice more, you got to practice harder, you got to get as close to game speed as you can, and that's what we'll work on this week.
And later in the week you'll talk about the Marshall Thundering Herd, if you haven't for weeks already. Herd coming off a couple of straight defeats. They're 0-1 in the conference as well.
Yeah, it's a really good football team. They lost a tough game at Middle Tennessee. Ted, they had over 500 yards of offense, but turnovers did them in. And as you know, Marshall's always a tough place to play, but we'll be excited, we'll be ready to go when it comes Saturday.
The key thing I would think isn't only physical, but the mental aspect of your team as you continue the grind. How do you keep the guys here rather than here?
Well, the biggest thing I pointed out to him, Ted, is especially about our offense, is 2 weeks ago, the first half at Virginia, we looked phenomenal on offense, and this is against the best team we played, a top 20 team, 200 yards, 11 for 13 passing, 178 yards, 17 points. So the point I made to him is it's there. We've just got to find a way to be more consistent on every play. When we get a setback, Ted, it's one guy not quite doing what he needs to do. So we'll look at what we're doing offensively, we'll emphasize what we're doing the best, and we'll work hard to get better this week.
Process continues. Off to Marshall this upcoming Saturday for another Conference USA A game against the Thundering Herd. For Coach Bobby Wilder, I'm Ted Alexander. This has been Wake Up with Wilder on Monarch Media.